that I love my Lord Jesus, I love all people, and I love my job. I want to continue to serve all three.
What Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis had to say as she returned to work for the first time since being released from jail.
A violent food fight during a popular barbecue festival ends with a woman seeking medical treatment and a man taken to jail.
WKYT investigates why you may run into cell phone dead zones in places you would expect to have service.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening. She calls it an impossible choice, deciding between jail or following her conscience. Today, Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis returned to work and said that she would not interfere with her deputy clerks issuing marriage licenses.
But Davis also said she would not authorize those licenses. This was her first day in the office since spending 5 days in jail on a judge's contempt of court order. As she returned to a huge crowd waiting for her. Sean Moody has our top story at 6.
Things appeared to go pretty smoothly today. Kim Davis was back in the office. A same-sex couple came in and got a marriage license, but that doesn't mean everything has been resolved.
I am no hero. I'm just a person who's been transformed by the grace of God.
This was before the office opened. Kim Davis came outside to tell reporters she would not authorize her clerks to issue marriage licenses, but she also wouldn't take any action against them if they did. She called it an impossible choice.
My conscience or my freedom. My conscience or my ability to serve the people that I love.
A few hours later inside the courthouse, Shannon and Carmen Wampler-Collins came in for a marriage license. There were protesters.
Don't let Kim's 6 days in jail be in vain, clerks. Do not sign that license.
But they got a license.
Just really overjoyed. I mean, just like to believe that we're finally here after 20 years.
Davis's attorney said she had removed her name, her title, and her authority from the existing license and added language saying that it was issued pursuant to a federal court order.
She earnestly hopes that what she did today in good faith will be sufficient to be able to move forward.
Now, Davis and her attorney each said they've got concerns about whether or not the license that was issued that way was valid. Kentucky Governor Steve Beshear and Attorney General Jack Conway said they do believe it is valid. In Rowan County, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Also today, Davis's attorneys said they're filing a new state lawsuit against Governor Beshear for not creating an accommodation for county clerks. And tonight we're getting our first look at Kim Davis from inside the Carter County Detention Center. This afternoon, WKYT obtained this video of Davis being booked into the jail. Davis spent 5 days at the jail before the judge lifted the contempt order against her last Tuesday.
Tonight, we are learning more about what investigators say led up to a Kentucky State Police trooper being killed in the line of duty in western Kentucky. They say that Trooper Joseph Ponder died after being shot along Interstate 24 in Lyon County last night. Police say that the suspect, Joseph Johnson Shanks, ran off, but police tracked him down this morning, and they say they shot and killed him when he did not put down his gun. Monique Blair is at the live desk with some new information in this investigation. Monique?
Well, Sam, we just learned the 18-year-old niece of the suspect who police say shot and killed a Kentucky State Police trooper has been arrested and charged with hindering prosecution or apprehension in the first degree. During a news conference just about an hour ago, Kentucky State Police said Ambria R.J. Shanks was taken to the Caldwell County Jail, but would not elaborate on why the woman was charged. Police say Shanks was the passenger in Johnson Shanks' car when the shooting happened. Kentucky State Police say there was also another adult in the car and 2 children under the age of 6. Police say after stopping the vehicle, Trooper Joseph Cameron Ponder, who went by the name Cameron, learned Johnson Shanks had a suspended license. So instead of arresting Johnson Shanks, he was actually trying to help the people in the car.
At the initial stop, it was his intent to put them all in a hotel without having to apprehend the driver. It was a minor violation, having the driver's license suspended. After he initiated the pursuit, I'm sure his mind was changed on that.
Now, police say during the traffic stop, Johnson Shanks fled, which began a 10-mile pursuit, and then Johnson Shanks stopped abruptly. Kentucky State Police say Johnson Shanks, while still inside his vehicle, shot several times at Trooper Ponder's vehicle. At least one bullet struck Trooper Ponder, and he died about an hour later. At the live desk, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Trooper Ponder's funeral will be Friday morning at 11 at Severance Valley Baptist Church in Elizabethtown. Ponder is the second state trooper from Post 1 to die in the line of duty just this year. In fact, this summer. Trooper Eric Chrisman died back in June after crashing his cruiser while responding to a call. According to the Officer Down Memorial website, Ponder is the 34th state trooper killed in the line of duty since 1935. The website says that he is the first state police trooper to die by gunfire since Trooper Johnny Edrington was killed during a traffic stop in Laurel County in 1988. His murder remains unsolved.
A Lexington neighborhood is in shock tonight after police say a man tried to kill his wife, then killed himself. It happened this morning in a home on Tulane Drive that's not far from Wilson Downing Road. Police say the man's wife is expected to survive. Kristen Kennedy talked to the couple's neighbors.
Neighbors say the Wests were one of the couples who had lived on Tulane Drive the longest.
They were always on the front porch and they would always wave at everybody. Everybody knew them.
Deb Schauberger's son Gavin often helped them around the house. For her, news of what the coroner is calling an attempted murder-suicide is shocking.
They were very friendly people, neighborly, the wife especially. She took to my son. When he was in high school, they got to know each other, and then he started shoveling her snow and cutting her grass and stuff.
Neighbors told us the couple had health issues. They often saw a home health nurse parked at the house. The coroner says a nurse was there at the time of the shooting.
Obviously, she's pretty shook up.
Coroner Gary Ginn says the husband, Millard West, shot his wife Monday morning, then shot himself. His wife survived. Millard West didn't.
You never know. I mean, you just never know when people do that. Why? It just happens. But it's going to be kind of rough around here because they definitely were. They were a pillarment of this neighborhood for sure. I mean, they've been here as long as just about any of us have, and everybody knew them. And like I said, you don't drive by without waving, and Gavin didn't come home without going and seeing them, and she didn't can without bringing us something. So, you know, good people. They really were.
West was 74 years old. In Lexington, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Lexington police are not releasing the wife's name or any other details at this time. They say they're waiting for the coroner to finish the autopsy.
We now know the name of the man killed in a crash in Lexington this afternoon. Within the last hour, the Fayette County coroner has identified him as 52-year-old Edward Gaines III of Lexington. Police say that Gaines was a passenger in an SUV that turned into the path of a dump truck on Richmond Road. Police say the driver and another passenger in the SUV were taken to the hospital. The driver of the dump truck was not injured.
A barbecue festival got a little too heated over the weekend in Danville. Police say an argument broke out between two barbecue vendors, and in the process, they say someone threw a piece of hot brisket. Police say it injured a woman standing nearby. And as Phil Pendleton tells us, the man police say threw the brisket is now in legal hot water.
I'm told that this violence happened yesterday while cookers were preparing their product even before the festival got started just after 10 o'clock. Apparently, a couple of vendors were sharing one oven when things literally got heated.
Bystanders advised us that someone had been burned intentionally, a female had been burned intentionally.
Officers were called to Danville's Constitution Square Sunday morning as cooks were preparing their meats for the day's festival. Two pitmasters were sharing the same cooker when workers got angry over how long someone was hogging the grill.
The employee at Debo's picked up a brisket out of the cooker and tossed it toward their camp, toward Firehouse Camp, at which time it struck a female employee at Firehouse.
A worker for Firehouse Barbecue was in the line of fire for that piece of meat, estimated to be more than 200 degrees.
It caused burns to her neck, back, and shoulder areas, upper shoulder areas.
42-year-old Mike Owings of Cunningham, Kentucky, that's near Paducah, was charged with second-degree wanton endangerment. Police were not able to recover the weapon.
I'm guessing it was probably smoking. I mean, it was coming off the grill. Nobody actually described to us, as far as exactly what it looked like, and it was gone by. They had picked it up and discarded it by the time that we had gotten there.
Mike Owings, I am told, works for a barbecue vendor out of South Carolina, but he lives in Paducah. He remained in the Boyle County Jail. We called the jail to see if he wanted to talk to us, give his side of the story, but he declined. In Boyle County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Police say Owings worked for one pitmaster and was upset at the pitmaster of Firehouse Barbecue when he allegedly threw the brisket.
To say the cell phone industry is booming would be an understatement. One of the largest carriers in Lexington, AT&T, and this is not a misprint, has increased by 100,000% in just the past 6 years. But even with that growth, there are still problems for some people trying to make a cell phone call. WKYT's Miranda Combs investigates cell phone dead zones.
They're easy to spot, but also easy to overlook. Their presence when making a call is just as important as your phone.
But when you pick up the phone and you start to dial it, then it does a little handshake, we call it, with the cell tower and acquires a frequency. And then, connects to other phones at other towers.
Here's a map of cell phone tower locations in Lexington. If you live close to a tower, Dr. William Smith says your signal strength will show it. But we headed to the area at the top of the map with a gap in tower availability. And our signal strength was down to 1 bar. But look where we are, a rural area of Fayette County. Not surprising to Dr. William Smith.
It's an economic thing. That it costs a certain amount of money to put up a cell tower, and if you're not going to get enough business from it, you won't put a tower up there.
It's all about location, Smith says. That's why you see towers along the interstates and downtown, but even the most populated places can be a problem.
If you have too many people trying to access the same tower, then you're just not going to be able to get everybody through.
Coverage has always been an issue. I mean, it's changed over time, and we used to have a lot more dead zones. Those have been filled in.
Jeff Kahn has more than 60,000 complaints on his website, deadcellzones.com.
The majority of those complaints today are from people who are, in rural America.
5,000 to 6,000 people check out his site every day. Hundreds complain about trouble spots with their cell signals, most in rural parts of the country.
Dead cell zones, in my opinion, would not exist if the carriers were completely honest about where they had coverage.
His best advice, question your carrier and possibly pick the smallest of the options.
I would honestly look at, if they have coverage, look at going with the carrier that has fewer people using their phone in your neighborhood.
And I reached out to AT&T, one of the biggest carriers in Lexington. The regional rep couldn't talk on camera, but said in a statement that their mobile data traffic has increased 100,000% from 2007 to 2014. Right now, they have 21 projects to improve the 4G network in Fayette County.
Ooh, stunning number. Many of our viewers may remember a major outage last month. Did that get us going on this story?
It did. It got us to talking about it. A fiber line was cut in that case, and we were just talking. You have Verizon, and you weren't affected.
My phone was fine.
A lot of us AT&T people, yeah, we were sweating there for about 3 hours.
All right, interesting. Thank you, Miranda.
Well, the stage is set for the first televised debate in the Kentucky governor's race.
WKYT, the Herald Leader, and our Louisville partners behind the Bluegrass poll are sponsoring tomorrow's debate at Bellarmine University. For an hour, Republican Matt Bevin, Democrat Jack Conway, and Independent Drew Curtis will answer questions on key issues. You can also submit questions on Twitter using the hashtag Bluegrass Debate. WKYT's live coverage will air from 7 until 8 on the CW Lexington and will be streamed on WKYT.com.